Hello everyone, we are back for another video. This will be a Digimon deck profile for the Ancient Garurumon deck. So I've been playing around with this one a bit, been having it's a bit hit or miss, needs a little bit more consistency, but it does perform rather well. So without further ado, let's get into it. We start out with 4 Strabimons. Strabimon is essentially one of the searchers for the deck, just to give it a little bit more speed. So on play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add a Digimon with hybrid and or a blue tamer from among them to your hand. So that since majority of this deck is hybrids, that's any blue Digimon that this one reveals and a blue tamer. And for consistency, we keep a lot of blue tamers in there. Alright, and then we run for Gabumon. Gabumon, a similar, on play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add a Digimon card of Garurumon and 1 Digimon of Omnimon in this name to your hand, and place the remainder on the bottom of your deck. Another for a searcher, I do run Omnimon in this deck, and since this is Ancient Garurumon, and Ancient Garurumon is not a hybrid Digimon, this will let me grab out my Mega and Omnimon if it's among those 3. Oh, we do one more. We do run 1 copy of Syakomon just to be a little pain in the opponent's side so they can't reduce Digivolution costs. And then run 2 Balukomon just for the inheritable mainly. So when you attack, when you trash an opponent's Digisource, you can gain 1 memory, and seeing as a good number of, well, not on attack, but yeah, just when you trash in general. So it just helps add to a little bit of keeping your turn, in other words. All right, now we're going to move on to the level 4s. So we go with 4 copies of Lobomon. This Lobomon is really good. So its own skill when Digivolving, this Digimon can Digivolve into Ancient Garurumon in your hand for a memory cost of 1, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. And if it does, delete this Digimon at the end of the turn. So this one will let you go straight from himself into Ancient Garurumon. So you can just pop off with your Mega really quick. Even though your Mega is going to be deleted at the end of the turn, it's going to get a few attacks off when it comes out. And even if it doesn't just Digivolve straight into Ancient Garurumon, it does have a nice inheritable skill. When Digivolving one of your Digimon into Ancient Garurumon from your hand, you can reduce its Digivolution cost by 2, giving it a grand total of Digivolution for 3 costs, which is a lot better than the current 5. So run 4 of those, then we run 4 of the ordinary Lobomons. This one, it just says, when Digivolving into this card from your hand, you can use 1 of your blue tamers as a level 3 for substitute. So this deck does run quite a few blue tamers, and if you want to rush, and your opponent really can't gauge how many attacks you're going to get in if you have blue tamers on the field, because if you have 3 blue tamers, that's potentially 3 Digimon that you can spawn to the field in addition to the ones you currently have on. So it just adds a little bit of strategy to it. Moving on to almost the last 2. So we get 2 Garurumons. Same. You can Digivolve this Digimon from a blue tamer as if it was a level 3. And when this one's attacking, you can return 1 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to the owner's hand and trash all of his Digisources. This is good just if your opponent is trying to rush with rookies. You could just start bouncing them back, and then they have to replay them back. So it just helps to mitigate rookie rush just a little bit. And ending up with the champions, we run 2 Colmon just because it's a blocker and it's a cost 1. So it's pretty good if you want to be a little stingy with memory and not give your opponent much to work with. Yeah, that's self-explanatory. It's just there to be a good blocker. That's about it. And now for the level 5s, we do run 4 Beowulfmon. Beowulfmon is a really good one in this deck. 1, because it has jamming. And secondly, while this Digimon has Digivolution cards that include a card with hybrid in its form or a blue tamer card, it cannot be attacked. So in other words, as long as you have Kendo Garurumon, Lobomon, or a Blue Tamer in this one source, once it attacks, your opponent can't do anything except pop it with an effect. So it protects itself. So it's essentially a free attack every turn as long as they don't deal with it. And it does combo well with Ancient Garurumon as well, to which we will get into. And we also run 3 Garurumon Sagittarius mode. This is primarily because it's just Garurumon. While this Digimon has Garurumon in its name, in this Digimon's Digivolution source, this Digimon gets jamming. So one thing that can be done, I probably should run a 4th one, just for a little bit more consistency. If you already have Garurumon Sagittarius mode on the field, you can Digivolve over him to gain that jamming effect. And he can attack and into security and not have to worry about blowing up when attacking something stronger. And that works really well with these two. So it's pretty much hoping that when you summon your Ancient Garurumon to the field, you'll have at least one of these two out there with it. That way, if this one attacks, jamming, your opponent, he can block, but it doesn't have to worry about attacking into security and blowing up from another Digimon. From an option card, maybe, but it doesn't have to worry about any DP. And then, if Ancient Garurumon attacks, its own effect lets you stand up another hybrid or another Digimon with Garurumon in its name. So it works really good with these two. And the unique thing is where Ancient Garurumon can select itself. So it can either stand itself back up and one of the other jammers, or it can just stand up both the jammers based on what situation you need. Now, I do run 4 of Ancient Garurumon because it is the boss monster of this deck. But I do also run 1 Meta Garurumon, and it's mostly because it has Garurumon in its name and it satisfies the conditions for Ancient Garurumon just in case. But in addition, if a Digimon card with Garurumon in this Digimon's Digivolution source, return one of your opponent's Digimon with an on-deletion skill. So it's kind of situational, but sometimes it does help play out if you're attacking an opponent's Digimon that has, like, on deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So it kind of mitigates that as well. But another reason why I like running it is because it is one of the few megas that do have an inheritable skill. So when attacking, once per turn, gain 1 memory, you can never hurt to have more memory. So that's all the level 6s. Let's get the level 5s out the way. And we do run 3 different Omnimons. So this is to work off with the play. So this deck does have a win condition, essentially. First off, it is to have Ancient Garurumon and Beowulfmon already on the field, ready to attack your opponent. So Beowulfmon was swinging for once. Ancient Garurumon was swinging for twice. Again, this is assuming your opponent doesn't have any blockers and you're just attacking purely into security. So Beowulfmon won't die because it will have jamming. Ancient Garurumon is unlikely to die. It does have 13, but you could run it to a level 7 and it would just explode. But that's 1 swing, that's 1 security, 2 security. Its effect would stand them both back up, swing for 3, 4 security, and then to end it, we Digivolve into Omnimon, which will stand itself up and give it Blitz so it can attack for the 5th security check. And it will prevent itself from being destroyed by card effect or returned back to the hand with this Omnimon. Now, as we all know, things don't always play out the way we want, so I do run 2 other Omnimon for situational use. That is Antibody, so I can Digivolve on top of this Omnimon for a Digivolution cost of 3, and whenever it attacks, delete an opponent's Digimon that has 15k DP or less, which is pretty much almost any of them. And also, this one plays defensively as well. When your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may trash up to 2 of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to end the attack. Not block the attack, to end it. To make it so that it almost never existed. Their opponent's Digimon will still be rested after the attack, but yeah, it won't touch anything. And if that doesn't work, we do have the other Omnimon that is just on Digivolve. Choose one of your opponent's Digimon and delete all of them that share the same name with it. That will work really well against a Diaboromon deck, because in a Diaboromon deck, almost all the cards are going to be Diaboromon that you have to worry about. So it's a nice one just if they happen to swarm the field with a whole bunch of like-named cards. And you can unsuspend this Digimon by returning one of this Digimon level 6s. So again, with the same play of Beowulfmon, Beowulfmon comes out, swing, AncientGarurumon, swing, stands them both back up, swing, swing, and Digivolve into Omnimon. And on the next turn, well, first, when he comes out, pop a Digimon, and on the next turn, if your opponent doesn't deal with it, it can attack, and then ditch this, and attack again. So that is the main, well, strategy for this deck. Now, that's all the Digimon. Now, any Digimon has to have the support of the Tamers. So we do run 3 Davis Motomiya. He's a basic memory fixer. So if you have less than 2 memory, you automatically get 3. And on play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon from among them. This deck only runs blue Digimon, so we're really just looking for a blue. And yep, he's there for a quick search, memory fix, and possible Digivolve from into Lobomon for an extra attack. So that's Davis. We also run 3 copies of Sora and Joe. So if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards in play, gain 2 memory. Also, if you have a blue Digimon and attacks, you can rest this Tamer and discard 2 Digivolution sources to help create a condition where your opponent has a Digimon without any Digivolution sources to gain 2 memory. And again, just another one for possible Lobomon. And we're going to, with the last Tamers, we have Tai and Matt. This one, if your opponent has a level 6, most of the Digimon that you don't want to deal with are level 6s, so your opponent's probably going to try to reach the level 6. So you'll probably get the 2 memory almost somewhat consistently, unless you're doing very well and you're just wrecking them. But also, all of your Digimon with Omnimon in their names get security attack +1, and since some of the Omnimons I do run can attack multiple times, who's not gonna like multiple security checks with one buff Digimon that can delete another Digimon? So that's all the Tamers, and we're going to end with our 3 option cards. I probably should increase them. They're essentially the trap cards of the Digimon TCG game, but we run 2 Full Moon Blasters. Return 1 opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the owner's hand. And if your opponent has 8 or more cards in the hand, instead return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck instead and trash all the Digivolution cards of that Digimon. So, just in case, I mean, it doesn't really work on Megas or level 6s. Really can't worry about that at this point. I might change this to Cocytus Breath, but I don't have it currently. But it's still a pretty good one if you're bouncing back blockers or you're just trying to slow your opponent from getting the Mega by returning the lower Digimon before it can evolve into it. Alright, and the final one is just the Ray of Victory. Return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the hand, trash all the Digivolution cards, then if you have a blue Tamer in play, unsuspend one of your Digimon. So yeah, this one does have a high play cost of 5. However, with Davis and the number of Sora and Joes I have, it's possible to play this card and still not have my turn taken from me. So it is situational, but it does give you the option for a potential additional attack. So that's it. The only other thing we have are the end training. I do run 3 Bukamon just because, mostly, I have them. And for whatever reason, Upamon costs way too much. I think that's like $7 just for an end training, and I refuse. I refuse to pay that much. All right, and we end with Sunamon. Ukamon, it's not that good. Its effect only works on a level 4 or lower Digimon when you attack, but you do get to trash the bottom of the Digivolution source if there is one on the field, which does help with some other cards that we do have in this deck. And Upamon, when attacking, once per turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution source, allows you to draw an additional card. It's always good to have hand advantage in almost any card game, so this does help with it. I would like to have more, but yeah, we gotta have to get lucky with the RNG. Until then, we work with what we got. And the last one is Sunomon. Since we do run Omnimon and we do have a lot of Garurumon-esque cards in this deck, this one will give Garurumon or Omnimon an additional 1000 DP. So it just helps it stay a little bit buff just in case someone else does have another level 7 or another just bulky Digimon that you just need that extra oomph to get over. Well, that's it. Tell me what you think. If there's any suggestions y'all think I should make, any changes, what you like, let me know. And hopefully I'll have another deck profile for you. This one will be, thankfully, Crusadermon. I was able to get a good number of Crusadermons to make the deck. Still missing a bit, but yeah, we got the bones. We got the bones. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here, and see you next time. Bye-bye.